And welcome back. In this lecture we're going to talk about creating the edit book function, edit book dialog, which of course we'll use in the real application. So first thing you got to do is go right there and select this dialog with buttons at the bottom. We have this dialog, resize it to something you like, and we're going to add some new things here. First of all, we're going to add a label, and this label will of course be called edit book. One more thing is that we have to make sure that this dialog box is named, well, its name should be different. It should be something more descriptive. Edit dialog, for example, and it should have a better font. So 18 is better. And we're gonna add similar labels here, like let me copy paste these first. For example, ID, name, description, ISBN, page count, and issued, the author, and what year it was. So year alongside with it, after author of course. So now I have about 8 entries here, and I can of course group them all together in a vertical fashion, and that's about it. Now one more thing, of course it's not done. We have to take input and ID. These are some of the input widgets that we have. We have combo box, we have line edits, we have a lot of stuff here. So we're going to use the specific for each one. We're going to use line edit here. We're going to call it something like, let me just call it ID input, because these are the things that will be used in real when you're programming. These are the things that you will be using. And then I'm going to have name input right here. After my name input, of course, description is also a text entity, so I'm going to call it description input. Yep, description input. ISBN is also well, ID is not a text, it's a number. So I'm going to have a spin box right here. I'm going to make a size bigger. It'll only take input as a number, and I can create a size bigger. I can just call it, well, ID spin box. Page count, of course, is also a spin box. Spin box. And issued, of course, is yes or no, so I can use a radio button here. And I can call it, well, yes or no. I can just call it, well, this one no, this one yes, well, smaller case. So, and of course the visible label for these buttons will be yes and no as well. Author, of course, is similarly a line edit. I can just place it here, call it author input. Next thing, year, of course, I'm going to take as a page count. I'm not going to go into the details of date here because it's not actually a full date, it's just a year. So I'm going to take it as a page input, as a spin box, like page count. Now I'm gonna group these together, and there's a trick here. If I group them like this, now wait a minute. Before I group them together, I wanna group them in a horizontal fashion, and now I wanna group them together with a simple vertical layout. This thing right here with up and down, I cannot do a lot about it, and what I can do is I can group them together in a different way, and that different way is using a separator with a splitter. And if you do that, this will work just fine. this will split them evenly. And I can do the same. I can do the same for this. I can break the layout and I can split them vertically with a splitter, and this will work equivalently fine. So make sure that it works and all the things are arranged in the same field. Selecting it a little mess. I'm gonna break layout and convert it back to the simple one just for the ease, because it's easier to see. There's not much difference in labels, but there is difference here. Now it all lines up just perfectly fine, so I don't have to do much here. And that's about it for this. Now similar thing is done for add book method. And so what I'm going to do, well, I can group these together in a fashion as well. I can group these two together. In a horizontal fashion, while I can group all of these in a vertical fashion. I can align it in the middle. And that's about it. Or if I don't want to align it, I want to keep it just my way, I can keep it my way as well. I can just keep it like this, you know, just move it around here, move this around here somewhere, and that's about it. I can even choose to do this. Now, what else can I do here? Well, I can do a lot of things here, but I will just keep it simple. So I'm just gonna go to font. I'm gonna change this font size and make it a little bigger. And that's about it. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. So I'm just gonna save this. We have the information that we needed to take in. All these things are the way they should be, and this you can change as well. And I want to see that change. I want to make the font size a little bigger. Not too bigger, but just a little bigger. And I'm going to do the same for all of them. That's about right. So this is it. I'm going to save it somewhere. I'm going to save it in my, well, project where I am. I have the project and I can just save it here. I can call it whatever I want to call it. The edit dialog is a better one, and I'm going to create a new one just using something similar to this, because the add book function we're going to create, add book dialog, excuse me, is very similar to this, except there are a few things here. It's not done yet. Few things here are that when you're editing it, you don't change the ID. When you're editing it, you don't change other things like ISBN. Well, you may change ISBN, but you won't change some things. An ID is something that we identify ourselves or is given to us by the user in the beginning, not later. And we'll validate that as well. So I want to disable this, and enabled here will be false. A user can't input anything here. And when we are actually dealing with this, when we're actually in real time, when we're making stuff in connection to the main application, you will see that the ID, all these things will be filled up with real values, the values that were already present. So that's all for this. Now I'm gonna add another thing here, which is the add book function. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna copy paste this edit dialog and paste it right here, and I'm going to rename it to add book dialog. And I'm going to open this. I'm going to change a few things here. This one will be enabled now, remember. And that's about it. That's it. I'm going to make it add book. Now when you add book, this of course will not have the values before, and you will see this work if you don't understand this, what I'm trying to say, what the point that I'm trying to get through. The edit dialog here will not be edit dialog, will be add dialog. So object name will be of course dialog. You can change it if you wanna. For simplicity we can keep it dialog or not, it's up to you. Then we have to change its name. We can change the name right here. Window title to be add book dialog, and that's about it. We have saved it in add book dialog. We have edit book dialog and add book dialog both done in the same lecture. So what are we going to do next? From now on we're going to start connecting things together, connecting these methods in our main application, so we get to really build the management system that we want to build. So I'll see you in the next one.